Black Panther 1 million BC is in Marvel Strike Force now. Is this a character that you need for Scourge, or is this another trap character to drain your resources? We got some hero hard nodes live in the game right now. The question everybody is asking though, when are the villain hard nodes coming? And is Scopely turning a corner with their communication? Some of the things put out this week indicates that it is, and we're discussing all of that and more in this edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. This week, I am joined by my brother Remanx, who is returning to the news update. And if you're ready for it, guys, Remanx, tell him what to do.
Keep hoarding your mail.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, hello, hello. What is up, Valley Club? I am ValleyFlyin. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I hope you're having a great day. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. We have at least 5 Marvel Strike Force Marvel gaming videos per week on this channel. And if you've already subscribed, thank you. Welcome back. And if you're listening to the podcast version of this, well, leave it a great review on whatever platform you're listening to. This week, I am joined in the news by my brother who is returning after a long hiatus. Let's welcome back brother Remanx. How the heck are you, my friend?
What's up, Valley? How you doing?
I am doing well. How are you doing in Marvel Strike Force? How are you enjoying the game right now?
Well, I'm free to play now. I actually stopped spending. After Abomination, it felt kind of bad, so I definitely changed that.
You're talking the Abomination event that we've had, the month-long milestone event, or something with his release previous to that? His
overall release, and just the fact that I think I spent like $900 on him the opening day to try to get red stars, something insane. So
jeez, my goodness.
And I caught myself, and I was like, whoa, I'm definitely falling victim to FOMO, and it was bad.
Oh my goodness, yes. Don't delve into that FOMO that people do so much and spend extra money than they don't need. But let me ask you, how are you enjoying being free to play right now? Is the game more enjoyable? Is the game less enjoyable? Are you still managing to smash all of your war opponents and your Crucible opponents, or has it gotten a little more challenging at this point?
Actually, for me, it's everything and nothing, right? It's I've learned a lot more from my alliance had folded. And they invited me to kind of move back up into a top 3 alliance, and I'm like, you know what? And so I went back and I went to the default alliance that was there. They were doing Doom 2, and we got them to Doom 3. And now they're still doing Doom 3, even though I've wanted to help another set of the community out who needed some help because they're having a hard time finding members right now. And so it's been really good to kind of go back to see what everybody's kind of facing as struggles, instead of the never land that Mr. Peter Pan over here that's never going to grow up was facing in his top alliances. Right now I get to see what everybody else is going through.
No, that's interesting you bring up that your alliance folded, because this past weekend my second alliance the second alliance that I was in just folded. The leader decided, I'm done with this. I'm not playing this anymore, and folding the alliance. I have to find a new one. But I guess let me go to my original question. Is it more fun that you're helping players and bringing people up? Are you enjoying the game more without spending money, or is it less enjoyable for you?
I'm more casual, so even though I may not be having as much fun, I don't have the demands of the game, so it's different. Like it's funny because it's different types of fun. Like I thought like being in these competitive wars was fun, but now I can go play other games and do other things and live a life. I started touching grass.
Jeez, I'm glad you went outside for once, Remanx, because that is what the execs recommended. Now, one of the big controversies in this update 6.5 comes from this guy, Zombie Iron Man, and you did very well with the pulls. I got lucky with the pulls as well. Was able to get 4 stars on him. I think you got 5 stars. Some people were not lucky though. They got the 6s and the 8s. How did you do on this event? What was your exact total that you got? I know you told me beforehand you got 5 stars. How many shards are you short of that 6 star? And what did you think of the event in particular? I know the dark promo credits were kind of left a bad taste in everybody's mouth about this character release and their communication that there would be no offers, and then it's like every day we get a new offer. But as far as this event, just looking at the event, what is your reaction to this event for Zombie Iron Man?
I mean, overall, I think it was friendly. I guess my concern is there were players that spent cores and did the requirement to get the unlock, right?
Yeah.
That got just a base 6 that don't have them now. So I think that's the problem when you go to the RNG like orb basis, is that you assume, especially with these. I mean, these orbs were the Blitz orbs and not the events orbs. They had the high chance. I mean, I got a 180 drop. You got like multiple purple drops, but there are people that got the minimum drop. And so what happens with that is those people inevitably feel terrible about the event, and I feel sad, and I know that regardless of how I did, it's a miss if people did everything they were supposed to do to participate and quote unquote unlock it and got the minimum, and that just says that they missed the math on this. And that's
do you think they missed the math, or that math was done purposefully?
I don't think they understand, because you know this, when they had the month-long events, they had to change it based on some of the feedback that we gave them. We had a math PhD actually show them how flawed the monthly event was when they added the abomination orbs, that there was still a small percentage of players that could get the minimum drops and not unlock the character despite going through the entire event and doing everything required in a month. That's why they added the actual shards to 2099, was actually to take away that chance, so that no matter what, you unlock the character.
Gotcha. Now, we will get to this, your predictions for this next month-long event for Black Panther. But in this Zombie Iron Man event in particular, as far as this release method, I was comparing it to some of these campaign event releases that we've had in the past. And as far as comparing to that, now both of them still have that bad RNG. I think the difference with these and the campaign events, I think the campaign events lasted longer, so you're able to get more orbs. But what I did like about this event, I could just refresh it and just go to one node. It saved me time. I didn't have to click through one node and the next node and the next node. I did like that you could just go to that same node, click it over and over and over again. What did you think about that hard node difficulty, having only the pieces in those hard nodes? Some people weren't able to get that. Some people weren't aware that you could put Zombie Iron Man in a save squad and actually get to those hard nodes as soon as you have them unlocked. I'm not sure if that was a bug, that he needed to be 3 stars, because the wording on that event was a little weird. What did you think of the event design as far as the hard nodes and putting his uniques only in those hard nodes, not in the orbs or anything like that?
Yeah, so I think that's the question, is what other characters will take these uniques? What are, and there's a lot, and they've lost a lot. As good as these events wound up being, there's still some problems. At the end of the day, is how many players didn't know they could do the second part, right? Because they never could figure that out. They never made a video or made it like a global announcement showing people how to do the save squad. There should have been a video, like an instructional video that was in the game.
Well, was that an error? Or was that intended? Was he intended as soon as you get him unlocked to go in there, or was it bugged that you needed that 3-star? Because I think you needed 3 stars on your other characters. I don't think the wording on the event was weird. It wasn't clear if it was also Zombie Iron Man or not. So it's hard to say if that was designed or a bug.
Even if it was designed or a bug, in the second that other players figured out and were able to take advantage of it, it was never said it was a bug or whatever. It had to be equivocated across the entire community, and that was a major fail. That type of stuff where they don't see how it balances out the players, the haves, the have-nots, the people that are hanging out on Twitch and YouTube. They have to make sure it's balanced across the community, because the second people find out that they could have done that, they're gonna either be frustrated, want to quit the game, or just basically not participate anymore. And so I think they have to realize that they're missing the boat when they don't react to that quickly. There's some stuff they react to quickly. That being said, all I will say is this character doesn't need high stars, right? He gets better. No. He gets better at high stars, but
it's all about Hela on this team, and we'll talk about their impact and war. But yeah, it's the communication on this event was very, very bad. I think some of the dark promo credit thing could have been avoided. Some of the backlash could have been avoided. Said, hey, you know what? He's only going to get red stars from dark promo credits. He's not going to be in the orbs. But the good thing is, You don't need stars on him for it to be effective. Get all your stars on Hela. That is the key to this team. Zombie Iron Man is like a better Greg for that team. Now, other thing that was a little bit of controversy last night is when we had these orbs that were supposed to be in the game. People were trying to find them, and if we look in the game right now, it is not in the game. We did get some communication about that. The Zombie Iron Man, the orb availability, the Zombie Iron Man event orb was removed today, and this was yesterday, even though it says November 3rd. I'm not sure where they're getting these dates from, because it says November 3rd. This was put out yesterday, but it says November 3rd is going to be added at 5 p.m., which is very weird. I don't know where they're doing their timing of all this, if they're basing it on where they're at in California or when it resets and past in Australia, past that dateline time. Some players may not have opened all their Zombie Iron Man event orbs, so the orb will be brought back for 24 hours tomorrow, November 3rd, which is today, at 5 p.m. So did you open all of your orbs? How many people missed this?
I mean, it's possible. People could have been farming up to the last minute and then just went away, right? So, I mean, it's just... we don't know. So people hold them and open them up at the end, and or do like a video where they open them up. So there's definitely people impacted by this. So I don't want to dismiss this as a low impact, but it's important they get brought back.
Should this 24 hours be longer? This seems like a short window for people. Oh, maybe you got some work to do. Maybe you got busy with life. Maybe you were going outside to take a break from this game. What if you're not here for these 24 hours? How long should they have done this? Or should they just leave it for like a week after the event?
So what I will tell you is if for some reason, like say that people miss the 24 hours, you can contact customer service and they will give you the contents of the orbs.
Okay.
So I can't guarantee.
Which contents? The 180 drop, a 6 drop? What contents of the orb are they going to give you?
I guess they roll a random thing, because I've had players who've missed out, like they've been in the hospital or they had a family event come up and they've actually had customer service respond for them.
All right. Well, hopefully, if you didn't get the or if you missed this 24-hour window, customer service response, hopefully they give you that 180 drop, because that hopefully they're generous. People have
gotten crazy amounts in the mail.
Really?
So they've gotten some minimums. So I mean, I've interacted with a lot of players that had this bug, and they told me what they were getting. So it was pretty interesting.
All right, nice. All right, now as far as their in-game impact, I did want to ask you about this Undying's impact on war right now. Hela seems to be the key to this team, allowing some very, very big punch-ups. As long as she survives, you got all these Gregs on the field, you got Iron Man Zombie on the field. What have you noticed about its impact in war? And I know I don't know how competitive you are in war right now, that you've joined a more casual alliance, but what is his impact on war right now?
It's interesting because I feel like the top war alliances, they now have more in their arsenal, and I feel like wars are going a little bit faster. But there are some, that does mean that now they can shift Gamma to defense more frequently. And so it's one of those things where, I don't know that it always has their intended effect, but I know that personally, I can kill 3 or 4.
You're answering my question already. What are the meta teams that you're killing?
Yeah, 3 or 4 Darkhold. I do have
Darkhold.
I am able to kill Gamma on defense, but it's very specific requirements.
Okay.
So it's definitely not a.
Is it just with the 2 Undying characters, or
no.
are you bringing a larger team?
You got to use
for Gamma.
You got to use Eternals, and it's a matchup versus it's Abomination versus Cersei, and you have to be very careful on the stars, because Abomination can just basically remove Cersei from combat and just.
So that's pretty. And I'm assuming those are massive punch ups. So Eternals, Gamma. I mean, it's not Eternals. Darkhold, Gamma. What else are you able to beat? I've done some non-meta teams like Heroes, Hero as Guardians,
Heroes for Hire. They beat them. Heroes for Hire.
I've not attempted that. We have other counters for Heroes for Hire. They're not as dirty as they once were. So I haven't attempted it with Heroes for Hire. But Young Avengers, I've done Young Avengers. So some of the strong non-meta teams. Any other teams that you that are giving people problems that you were able to face and counter with just these 2 Undying characters?
I mean, you could do. Let's see. I know they beat Hero Asgard, the Young Avengers. They beat pretty much everything. I mean, it's just they're that good.
All right. Well, that's a good thing because you know, if nobody's buying these dark promo red stars for Zombie Iron Man and they're still able to do these counters, maybe it's not as bad as we thought, but it should have been communicated a lot better than it has been. But yeah, they're doing pretty good on a lot of the other communications, which we are going to get to. Now, there's another character in the game, Remanx, that some people have, but there's been no free-to-play event, and people were wondering, is Mr. Negative gonna have an event? Is he gonna have some kind of release method for free-to-play players to unlock this character? What are your thoughts on that? When are we gonna get Mr. Negative, like an event for him, or shoot, even a blitz? I mean, when is he going to be released for free-to-play players?
I mean, who knows? I mean, they have no announcement. There was no data mines for him. There was this web store like event that was supposed to be given for him, and then
there was a comment from Archangel a while ago saying that he would be something tied to the web store, and then the comment got deleted, and I wasn't sure what to make of that because he hasn't said anything about that. I'm not sure if they changed the release method or if that was the correct release method and they're trying to keep it a secret. So,
I mean, at the end of the day, he is MIA. He's on the milk boxes around MSF neighborhoods. So let's just take a look.
What is your prediction? Something with a web store or something totally different?
He may just be something that they're doubling down on FOMO. Like, you know, so because they're such a powerful war offense, you know, that they release a war defense and people are struggling and want Mr. Negative, they can be like, well, you should have bought him when he was out. And there's more doubling down on FOMO.
Yeah, but is he needed for anything really? I mean, he's great on war offense, great on war defense. I have not really used him. You know, there's the 70 level 72, 70k power. I don't know how viable that's going to be in any game mode based on where I'm playing. Where is he viable other than war? Crucible, raids, anywhere else? Or is this just purely a raid war character?
So this is a war character. You can mix and match on Crucible. I know he's pretty scary when he gets high stars, but at the end of the day, it's just not a it's just not a necessity, I think, really.
So basically, if you're not in a hardcore war alliance, you're playing war pretty casually. Kind of sucks that he's not being released as a free-to-play method at this point. You know, we're into the next update, but you're not really missing out on anything, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he does make one of the Underworld team is great without him, but with him they can destroy pretty much most of the metas.
Do you think that they made a mistake by linking a lot of his abilities to war, not just tied specifically to war offense like they do it with Hela and Zombie Iron Man? Because now we got another nightmare defensive team.
I don't know. I think it's scary because, you know, at the end of the day, we have all these specific game modes, and it's hard to justify bringing up characters for war now when war's kind of fallen farther down the list. When you have raids, arena, and crucible that seem to take more time.
Yeah, I agree. Now, other thing that just ended this past week was one of my most heated events recently. And it is this one, the Midnight Haunt event milestone, where at the Blitz spanning power cores. That was not fun for me. What did you think of this event? How did you do? And did you blitz 8 times a day, or did you go less?
I think I had actually spent because the Midnight Haunt lined up with ZIM, so the power cores I was spending to refresh the nodes allowed me to complete the event, I believe.
Yeah. Now you said complete the event, or just get all of this.
Get all the stuff to the
future shock.
For the future shock. So let me get to the costume. I never completed it, but I will say this: the other thing that it had was a live leaderboard. That was a disaster. Not only was it a leaderboard, it was a full-on cheater board.
Cheater board. Aren't they all cheater boards in this game?
Well, I mean, they did correct it and they fixed it relatively quickly. But the problem was the feedback I got from the players that in the top like 50 was they were pissed because of just how they were getting bumped off. It was designed. If you were an old Kraken and you can't spend cores and efficiently to earn the points on there, and so The difference between 1 and 2 was a 7 red star orb. Some people missed out on the like they spent hundreds of dollars and didn't get any of the blue 5 ISO. I mean, it's bad. This was a poor design event all around. I mean, it frustrated players, just period, from both the blitzing element all the way to the people competing for the top prizes. It just was like, you might as well have just done something to your community that was inappropriate.
Well, let me ask you about this. I thought I would finish a little higher than I was. I finished into 51 to 100%. I did a lot of blitzing. I think I had like 2 or 3 milestones left. So, I was pushing on this one. I spent power chords. I didn't do a full 8 rotations per day because who has the time for that at this point? But I maybe about 4 rotations per day. But I got 51 to 100%. Is that an indication that more people are quitting this game, or was that more about that 100,000 points to qualify for this, and people just like, yeah, I don't care about this?
Yeah, 100,000 points to qualify. More importantly, the blitz had very little impact on overall score. The thing about it was the blitz was only a drop in the bucket for score. People who spent any type of money on the game we're gonna bypass blitz relatively quickly from a core perspective.
All right. Yeah. Well, yeah, I was shocked. I was like, oh, 51%. We must not have any players. And then I got made known that there was a qualifier for all that, and I was like, all right, maybe I was
did you see
that.
Was there a qualifier anywhere that you saw that? I think it was in the block. Maybe it was the snow.
I don't remember seeing that. People were telling me about it. I don't know if it was in the game. Oh, actually, it is in the blog post right here as I read it. At least 100,000 points. So I think I missed that initially, but yeah, 100,000 points for the leaderboard. There's some really, really good stuff in that for the 1 to 50, but everything else was not super
Blue ISO 5.
Great.
Blue ISO 5, the first time it appeared in the game, besides the sagas.
Yeah, or could you have bought that for real world money previously, or is that just the sagas?
No, just the sagas. That's basically So the Krakens were going crazy over it, and then it just became this disaster where there were people cheating on the leader. It just was crazy.
All right. Well, we also ended the month-long milestone event from last month, the Future Shock milestones. And what did you think of the Future Shock milestones that we got? This is the mail for the Black Panther because he is the next milestone character. But what did you think of the Future Shock? And will this event for Black Panther be better or worse than the release for Spider-Man 2099? We know that 2099 was better than Abomination. Is it going to get even better, or is it going to revert to making it less fun for players and getting that chance of not even unlocking this character if you push for all these milestones for a whole month?
So I think they fixed that with 2099 where by adding the extra shards in there.
Do you think that's going to stick, or is that a one-time thing and like, yeah, we didn't make enough money?
I think they have to because if you could, it was designed so that if you complete all of the monthly event requirements, which is still like you can't miss a day. There's still a lot of pieces of that puzzle. You can't miss one of those claims in the store. There's a lot of pieces, all those not
a lot of juice for all the squeezing that you're doing for all these events, Remanx.
Well, I mean, the micro events have like those costumes at a certain threshold. So it definitely feels like if you don't unlock it, then it's been a waste of time, and I think those people are likely to quit the game or just give up on the FOMO. So I think it'll be probably more of the same, maybe even a little bit more generous with the shards, because I feel like that they have to honor people who have lives, and this is gonna cross into our.
They think we have lives?
I mean, this is gonna cross over into the Thanksgiving season and the holiday season, and they're going to be going away soon, right? So why don't they honor us and know that we want to go away sometimes too, right? So I think there should be something along those lines where it's a little bit more generous, that you can miss a day or 2 or 3, for flying or whatever. Maybe you don't have access to your phone. It has to be something better than what it is, because I think these month-long events are driving people away from the game.
It's just tough. I don't mind grinding for these month-long events, but when you're grinding for a whole month, spending all these hours every single day, and you're getting just a few character shards, then, I remember back in the day, free to play, we would get 5-star unlocks if we really pushed for a lot of these events and these blitzes. Now, pushing for a whole month, getting a 3-star or a 4-star does not feel good. And that change, obviously they made it for money, but I don't know if they're costing us the money for it. Now, you did mention Thanksgiving is coming up. last year during Thanksgiving was one of the worst events that we've had in Marvel Strike Force. There's been a lot of bad events, and they seem tone deaf because they keep running these over and over and over again. How bad will Thanksgiving be this year in Marvel Strike Force, or will there be some excitement for Black Friday coming up and some awesome offers and some awesome gifts, or will this just be another trashy event that we need to spend tons of money to complete?
I feel like if they could find a way to thank us for playing their game, and the Black Friday offers are both exciting for all players and more importantly, I think they have lost track of how to make this game fun for us.
Yeah, I mean, after playing Marvel Snap, that seems very apparent. That game's fun. This seems like a chore for a lot, but I keep playing in hopes that things will change and get better. Now, Black Panther. He was in orbs last night, but not right when they said. Black Panther 1mm not in certain red star orbs at 5 p.m. So this has today's date, but this went out yesterday. Yesterday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, the banner of Black Panther 1mm was updated. Stores with the characters was only in the basic red star orbs at an increased drop rate. Missing from Elite 4, 5, 6, and 7-star orbs. The issue's been corrected. About 45 minutes after the event went live, the players who open Elite Red Star orbs during the time will be sent compensation early next week before the higher drop rate expires. And Archangel was on Reddit. Why did you live? Are we getting general compensation, or are we getting our orbs back? Given how you operate, I'm assuming they're not the same thing. You will get back, is what he said. And this comment has not been deleted, so I'm assuming this is gonna be correct. You get back what elite orbs you opened before it was fixed. So sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, no, I got it. I'm just gonna tell you, this is stupid. It's like literally the stupidest thing that they're doing. Because now you should just wait, because every single red star offer rate up, there's a chance that they just the whole system up. And I mean, this is what Yags left over, Cindy left over. I mean, these are like, people are leaving the game because of this issue. How does it keep still happening where red stars are not like, the biggest thing that they sell inside this game? This keeps happening. So now there's that small window where you have 30 minutes to go, oh, I can open all these up and I get them all back. It's free. Well, it's like, no, it's Christmas, dude. I'm telling you right now, I felt
not always. It's not always.
No. Listen.
I knew there would be compensation coming, but I don't know what the compensation is.
Did you open it? Did you open them?
I did not, because sometimes people get the stuff back. Sometimes people get stuff back. Sometimes they don't. I don't know which one this is going to be.
So they've been getting them back consistently, and here's the problem. This shouldn't be an issue anymore. I don't care about the compensation. This can't be an issue anymore. I got 3 upgrades last time. I got a 7 red Captain Marvel, a 6 red Morbius, and I don't get upgrades very often. And they sent me all the orbs, including a 7 that I had opened. So it was like, what the hell are you guys? I mean, I got free orbs, and I felt guilty about it because I actually did not know. I was sitting there, offline when this whole thing was like catastrophically happened. I forget what character it was because it happened so often that it literally is just this is their business. How does this happen every single time?
Because they don't care. Because they don't care.
Not that they don't care.
They're still making money. They don't care. There's no incentive for them to fix this. They keep doing this stuff. And you know what? If they're doing this consistently and giving out these orbs consistently, next time this happens, I'm opening my 7s, I'm opening my 5s, and screw it.
You're a fool if you don't. That's the problem.
I'm doing it. You've convinced me, Remanx. Next time this happens.
You're a fool if you don't. Because now these people are getting extra, and they've trained their community to do this. They're training their community to do this, and this is.
I hope you beat wrong, Remanx.
So I mean, it's definitely crazy, and I don't get it because you have, and so imagine if you're not online during that time period when it happens, You know what?
Yeah.
You now you're missing out on double. You're basically getting double the elite orbs. Double.
All right. Well, I am doing that next time. I hope it doesn't backfire me, and I hope they don't switch things up as far as compensation next time.
They have to make some type of announcement. But this gotta honestly, this is you want me to be clear on this? This is a scam because now what happens is the Krakens who didn't get it are now going to buy more Red Star orbs, get the character they want, and they'll get more back, but they're still buying more Red Star orbs.
Yeah, I ain't buying Red Star orbs. I never bought Red Star except for some videos.
It's a scam. Like this literally not being
it's
the radar. Scam,
Scopely.
No, I this is the.
You're scam artists.
This pisses me off more than anything else.
All right, I agree. You should be. You should be. Let's get back to this guy, Black Panther 1MM. Now, one of my questions at the beginning is this a trap character? Is this a character that's designed to use up all of our resources? Maybe we don't need this character for all that we think. Now, obviously, this is going to be a very good war offense team. The new Wakandans, the War Dogs, are going to be a very, very good war offense team. And now we know that the Wakandans, you can use them in the Death Scourge event. I don't know if they're necessary, because the Bionic Avengers might just clear that thing very well, and you don't need them. But do you think that this is a trap team, or is this something used for more than war offense and maybe used later for after the Scourge event?
I mean, the fact that so he'll also count towards the Chaos Theory. So he'll also count toward as a Wakandan. So if you build them up, he'll count towards that for stars and down the road. Is he a trap character? I mean, he's Mystic. You don't have to build them all the way up to 16. I would definitely not. But I mean, as a war offense team, also a Scourge team, I think your interpretation of what a trap is depends on where you are in the game. You know,
if it's not useful or not. All right, let's separate it 3 characters. For newer players, is this a trap character?
Yes.
Mid-game players, is this a trap character? No. And then I think I know what your answer is going to be for end-game players if that was for mid-game, but is this a trap character for end-game players?
Yes.
It is. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yes. Why is this a trap for end-game players and not for mid-game players?
Because you already have a lot of war offense teams, and you won't need them very high. You already have other characters doing the stuff you have. So mid-game players who may not have a big Black Panther could use him and invest in this character and get kind of a similar result. He's kind of like has very similar abilities to Black Panther.
Okay. So it does. His passive's similar, but not
So I mean, so should you go like crazy about him? He's not like an obvious source of like drop your red promos on him. That's Nakia. That's who you're gonna want to grab your gold promos on because of her insane damage potential. So I mean, it's definitely different than I've seen, because it feels like, as a mid game player, he's gonna open up more possibilities for you, but as like an end game player, he's probably not the character you want to put the most investment in.
Okay, all right, so got him. We're gonna go on this event because I always do, but probably not gonna put too much resources into him unless there's an indication that this is gonna be necessary for Scourge. Maybe Scourge is gonna be tuned that you need both. I think I'm gonna wait for a lot of this. Now, his release method is that month-long event, which is very grindy, which means that we're not gonna be able to really unlock him if you're a free-to-play player until closer to the midpoint or the end of the event, depending on what you get for these drops. And I think some of the controversy with this character is with this update release notes, Dogs of War. Power up your roster for Nakia's event campaign, Dogs of War. We don't have any information on that yet. I'm thinking tomorrow we'll have a lot of more information on this in the blog post. If you plan on battling through heroic difficulty, you need a top squad, not Wakandans, because that was striked out. The War Dogs, which means that to get the heroic difficulty of Nakia, you first have to unlock Nakia through her event. And you'll also have to have Black Panther 1 million BC unlocked, or you're not gonna be able to do the hard difficulty.
Do you need 5 characters to do it?
That's not clear. They said a top squad. Do you think they're going to be a little more generous, and you need some War Dogs? You can go through this.
I'm trying to think of the event campaigns. Have you ever needed a full squad of 5?
I thought you did, except on like that first event or that first campaign where sometimes they give you a test squad. Usually it's a full squad of 5. Although I haven't tested it. I guess I've always just taken in 5, thinking that you need 5. I don't. I'm not sure 100%. Do you? What is your opinion on it? Do you think we're going to need 5? We could go into, or we could go in there with 3 maybe.
You know, it depends. I mean, it could very well be that it's designed around, you know, the balance around Black Panther, Okoye, and Shuri, and that's a failure to communicate for them. With all the backlash they have, they should say something about that. You know, there should there should be clarification. It just seems like they just want us to stew in our own juices for way too long, and you know, and then we're always thinking the worst and prepared for the worst. And if they had been more efficient with their communication with ZIM, I think they could have neutralized the negative impact that it had.
So yeah, I think their communication, I think they've done a better job this week, and we will get to that, of their post issues communication. They're doing a better job of that. But with their before event communication, it has been very, very bad. You know, and all the blog posts say stuff gets changed. We get numbers that are missing, shards that are different, the calculations that are very, very different. Yeah, so their pre-communication has been very bad, but I do like some of the things that they're doing post. Now, the other thing that we have going on today is a hoarding event, especially offensive hoarding event. How much hoarding have you done for this abomination event? Because you're gonna need raid credits, you're gonna need to spend campaign energy. So as for me, I've been hoarding a lot of stuff in my mail. Now, unfortunately, I forgot about this. The season rewards came through, and because I was switching alliances, I just clicked on it like, all right, I got it, let's switch. But if we go in game right now, I got a lot of energy saved up. When I remembered, I saved some of my raid completion rewards from Doom, from the Doom raids, everything like that. I also claimed some of the milestones, unfortunately, and some of those early milestones, there's raid credits there, so I made some mistakes. How much hoarding have you done, Remanx, in preparation for this event?
About the same. I don't have the campaign energy, but it is especially offensive, the way you said it. I like the way you said it. It's especially offensive.
Very offensive.
You got to think about this. How many players are actually, you know, not hoarding mail? I mean, if you're not involved in the Twitch or YouTube community, you may not know to hoard your mail, right? And so if these numbers are based on hoarding mail, it's for completion. That's frustrating, right? You know,
it seems like they've done. That's why they switched it from 30 days to hoard your mail to 7 days. So, yeah.
You know, it's definitely something different. So I don't know. I mean, it's not perfect. Hopefully we can get the roster improving resources that are in there, and we'll definitely see. You know, I'm excited to see how much I get for my mail today.
Well, let's talk about these the rewards in this. I see some Iceman shards there, Captain Sam. We see some raid characters. There we go. Viv Vision starting at milestone 16, some unfarmable characters. Milestone 18, we have some abomination shards. That is it. Everybody else, I think, is farmable in this. What do you think of this selection of these raid characters that they talked about in the blog post?
I mean, it's good because it gets you an extra star. Is it impactful? It's 20. 25. I mean, you know,
will I get an extra? No, nothing for me.
Most players are sitting.
That'll be close. That'll be close for me.
That's close. I mean, and most players are sitting about where you are, Valley, with Abomination, where it might get you an extra star level. So you know,
I'd have to get lucky in some premium orbs, or the ultimate orbs, or something like that.
Yep. So it's definitely impactful. But you can look and see at the bottom of there looks like an obvious offer, right? Looks like an obvious, you know, and that's what you have to look at in these events. These events and that's what's insulting right there at the bottom is the 350 dark. I made a video last week of the dark promotion credits. The month-long events used to have dark promotion credits in them. Yeah. Now they've been going to these micro events specifically in the paid tiers, and we call them paid tiers because they're only typically available if you're spending money. And I think that's the problem is we've lost out on dark promotion credits. And so my question for you, Valley, is do you think there's going to be another character soon that's going to be a normal character release with dark promotion credits?
Oh yeah. There's no end. They're boundless in the greed that they have. There's no bounds to the greed that there is in this for this game. So anything that's going to be offensive, especially offensive, yes, it is all fair game. So yeah, there'll be more. Maybe one per patch is what I'm predicting, and hopefully I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong because that would be horrible if that happens. But I do want to give them props and some quicker communication as we look at this, addressing a few topics. This was done on November 1st. We've had them address the red star issues, the the other thing, the zombie Iron Man event orb that was gone. We've had 3 copies of Icarus in the arena. That has been fixed, the bug there. Payouts for golden opportunity leaderboard. I'm not sure which one that was for or what day that was for. Doom. This is not a good thing, but I think they forgot that in a blog post on November 7th. And then Pocket Dimension returning. There was some discrepancy in the dates on that, but I think, post issues, they've been addressing things quicker. Is this your, and the war launch, when last week they missed the war launch and they said, all right, we're canceling war, you guys are good. Do you enjoy this quicker communication, even though sometimes there's bugs, or would you rather have less communication and have it be accurate?
So, I mean, I think that them being on top of it, giving us information about what's impacting players, A+ for the effort, right? For the execution on it, I mean, you know what? People look at the spacing on there. This is obviously something that was probably sent out, like late at night. They're just getting all the resources. They're rushing this communication to make sure it's less impactful to players, right? So I mean, and so I do appreciate the effort being made.
I do as well. So, there's a lot to complain about this game. There's a lot to complain about the devs, but I do want to give them props when they get some props, and they've been communicating post issues better than they have in the past, and I do like that. I just wish they would communicate before a lot of these issues have, or a lot of these events happen, or these character offers or things like that. It's a little better, because I would like that a little better. All right, let's talk about another good thing that came into the game this week. Pocket Dimension. This was these things pop up randomly all the time, and this one we got like 1 day notice on this, which is fine. But the big thing, Gambit shards in this, along with some RNG orbs and gear. Were you surprised that we had a Pocket Dimension coming? And were you surprised that there were actually useful Gambit shards and not like Ghost Spider shards or something that is farmable at this point?
So let's talk about this. This is a win, right? Because it's a new dark dimension. It's a new dimension. It's not, they didn't recycle the old enemies.
Yeah.
So it's a brand. So they actually created a new game mode. They created a new reward system where they gave Gambit shard, things that players were looking for. The gear is always a welcome with the completed teal pieces. It's a little bit of RNG. I wish they kind of like would give you like 3 tokens to let you select your teal gear, because I feel like
this is Scopely. This is as generous as they get, Remanx.
Yeah, but they doubled down on RNG. So like you go through there and let's say you get all Mystic or Mutant and you're like, ha, I win, and I got all skill. Yeah. So that last horseman's not skill. So definitely a big difference. So if you got Mutant and Mystic, you definitely hit the mother load. But that's the problem. Like Marvel Strike Force has so much RNG components to it. They should find a way to kind of distribute less RNG in that. So whatever. They would actually, I stopped because they'll just make it, instead of it being 3 pieces for claiming, they'll go 3 to 5, and so it'll still be RNG. Well,
at least that we would know what we're getting and how much we'd have to grind for. This is a good thing. Now, what did you think of the character selection? Previous Pocket Dimensions, we've had some random characters with some random traits. We actually got full teams now, full Asgardians, including the hero Asgardians, which a lot of people have already built up, including Hela, which has just recently reworked, and including the Wave 1 Avengers, which has a Horseman in Hulk, and has a Bionic Avengers who you're going to need for the next event. I thought the character selection on this was very good. You're not wasting resources building characters up if you're not strong enough to go through this and fully auto this. If you're a mid-game player in particular, I think this is very friendly because it's actually useful characters for this. What did you think of the character selections? The Avenging Asgard or something like that was the name of the traits.
Yeah, so basically it allowed you to kind of it allowed you to build a team. So they probably looked at like the Red Hulk Scourge, the Asgardian and Wave 1, and they probably saw that people were more successful with building those. So they probably said, let's make sure when Red Hulk comes back, they have more incentive to build these teams and more ability to use this team. So this is why I said it was a win, was because it took characters that other people had built up or were considering building up, and said, this is the key to Red Hulk. and this is a better experience for players overall. So this is again they took the time to develop a new.
It's actually like to put some thought into this event. I like
100%.
This is a good thing. This is good. This is the best pocket invention we had, in my opinion, by the way.
100%.
So yeah, this is a huge win. So again, more kudos for this, and more kudos for something we've been asking for a long time, Remanx. Roster sync. We finally got it. And it's only taken 4.5 years to get this. But this is my roster right now. Now, I wasn't getting this working initially, but what you told me, had to log out of this totally, re-log in, then sync my roster, and we were all good. So it totally matched, and I like that. How useful has this been to you so far? I know it was just released yesterday, but have you made use of this? And what plans do you have for this roster sync now that we can share our rosters with people, especially our alliances and our alliance leaders and everything like that, and let them figure out charts and all that stuff? Yeah,
so what's great about this is I think it's just the tip of the iceberg, right? That there's going to be a lot more tools that could be utilized. You know, MSF.gg already has raid maps and stuff like that. So I expect that this is going to be something that they can, now that this tool's there, it's probably going to open up the door for a lot more stuff. I mean, now you can use MSF.gg potentially for looking for alliances. So I think there's definitely ways that this is going to help. Now, is it impactful right now? It's good because you can start seeing inventory. So when you're looking at the MSF.gg for upcoming characters, you can click on the pieces for, let's say if you look at the actual characters, when you hover over the pieces, it'll reflect your actual inventory numbers too. So it's actually kind of cool.
I like that. This was very good for planning for Dark Dimension. Unfortunately, we don't have Dark Dimension anymore. It's just these Horseman, Scourge events and stuff like that. But if they ever bring Dark Dimension back, this is going to be so helpful. And obviously, for alliance leaders that are really into war and really into defenses and planning raid maps and stuff, I think that's where the biggest impact is going to be. Now, do you see this as a problem down the road when we're looking up some of our opponents in Crucible or looking up some of our opponents in war? Do you see any negative with this, or is it just all positive?
I think the idea is it's a tool that we should have had with War and Crucible.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Between the T4s, et cetera, that we'll be able to see what our opponents have. And I my biggest complaint, actually one of my bigger complaints, that I can't say biggest because they're all up there, is that we still don't see the safety, otherwise known as the assist counter abilities. We still don't see them in game.
In game, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a miss on their part.
You got to go to this separate website. Previously third-party website. Now it's first-party website. So
yeah,
at least it's under the Marvel Strike Force umbrella. But yeah, we still have to go outside the game to see what these characters actually do. So if someone's not in the YouTube community, or if they're not on MSF.gg, which I think they're trying to get more people on there because of all the web offers and that 1,000 core syncing thing that you do. But if you're not in there, then you're missing out on stuff.
And you clicked on the milestone and store inside there and see how much more responsive it is. When you click on that top part, like if you click on the MS, there's another section up.
This one here.
If you click on the milestone, yes. It's so responsive. It's such I
haven't had a problem with the web store and the syncing and all that. So
no, I mean, it's just so it used to take a little while to load. This is instant.
My loading wasn't that slow. So
yeah,
I know for a lot of people it was a problem though, and they couldn't even get it to sync. And that's what I'm hearing. All the people that had problems, this is much better. But for me personally, it was working pretty fast before that.
Well, I'm just saying for those people who had it, try MSF.gg, see if it's faster for you. That'd be great feedback, so we can because that might be an impact for a lot of people.
That's a good point. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you are if it's faster for you, if you had some problems in the past. Now, another win, I think, sort of win. There's some good and some bad with this one, is we got some hard nodes, some hard campaign nodes added. Now, if we look at this, I think Wong's node is still bugged. Yes, it is. So you can still claim this for 10 times. You're covering it there, but yeah, it's 6 out of 10 right now in the game. And I think that is a bug. I hope they're leaving it in there. When will this be fixed? And what is your overall impression of these not so hard nodes in the game right now?
Well, it's welcome because now that they brought a lot of characters into the game, and they're actually they're addressing some of the farmability, and it's not hard enough that players are going to get stuck behind the content. They're going to be able to get additional additional things. So I mean, and the last piece of the puzzle here is dogs barking. We have somebody here. Is the idea that maybe this is because he's a horse on the horseman team. Maybe maybe this was on purpose, but they haven't said anything that it was by accident or on purpose.
No.
Zero communication. So if because he's on a horseman team and he's useful for the side, maybe they left that for specific characters in that regard.
Now, one theory someone said on chat is this is exactly like Heroes in the normal campaign, and Heroes 1.3 in a normal campaign has 10 nodes. Mm-hmm. Now they just kind of copied and paste. Do you think that is
it's
the
copy
case?
paste.
Oh man, I was thinking, they're being nice. We
copy
all right,
paste.
just copy paste. All right.
Yeah. If you want to know what their number one problem is, it's probably copy paste.
So we got Wong, we got Madeline, two previously unfarmable characters in this event campaign. Now, some of the complaints I'm seeing, some people saying this is too hard, some people saying this is too easy, but I was talking about this in a video yesterday. This is a very old game, 4-year-old plus games, which means you got players all over the place, newer mid-game, end-game players. And you're not going to make all of them happy with this new content. So end game players probably a little too easy, newer players a little too hard. Probably mid game players is who's experiencing the best. But in your opinion, for you personally and what you're hearing from your community, was this too easy, too hard, or tuned correctly for where the game is right now?
I think it's tuned correctly for what you need, when you need to farm the pieces of the gear, right? So the gear is a piece of the puzzle, right? So if you look at the gear that you need, and you need, G15, you're probably going to want G14 pieces to kind of get there, So at least G12 level 70, right? So I found that it wasn't that it's going to be a challenge for new players.
Yeah, but is this for new players though? This is the hard campaign.
This is not for new players, and that's the point. It's designed for players who are starting to make prep their roster for the end game.
Gotcha. Now, one of the big questions with this, Heroes was added. Villains, I believe it was supposed to come during this update. I thought it was supposed to come the same time, but obviously they're holding this one back. The Villains is where we're going to get Cersei and some other farmable characters added to the Villains. When do you think we're going to get the Villains? In a couple weeks? In a future update? Next year? When is Villains going to be added as far as your predictions?
Yeah, I think in this patch, and I'm hoping it's just like maybe this Friday or it'll be announced. So, I mean, maybe it'll be as soon as next week. Okay. So they just want to stagger that. I think this basically what it does is giving us some pieces of the gear that's available in there means that people are going to be like, oh, I just need one more. Oh, I buy it. That's just they do stuff like that on purpose, but it's okay because that's how they make money.
Yeah, I'm glad they're making it farmable. Now, Icarus wasn't here. Do you think he's ever going to be farmable? I mean, it's been over a year that the Eternals were added to the game. Are they going to hold them for a lot longer? Cersei's going to the Villains, or will he be in one of these future chapters?
Yeah, I'm going to guess forever.
Forever, okay. You're probably right. You're probably right.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where giving Cersei only gets you half the problem. But Cersei is actually a really good standalone character too.
Yeah, she's good. She's good. All right. Other good thing that happened. I don't know how much impact this has made for me personally, but I'm glad that they're doing this. The raid store got an update to help everyone in their teal journey. They're adding more slots to the raid store with unique pieces. So they're adding more orange slots. They're adding more purple slots. Have you visited the raid store? Has it made an impact for you as far as what you are able to purchase? And are you making more purchases because of the changes to the raid store?
This feels like it should have happened a year ago. This is the complaint we had a year ago when Oz formula and stuff like that was coming out and these new characters were taking it. This has made almost zero impact on me because I have plenty of that because of the change they made to the orbs they had in the raid. Now maybe they changed the raid orbs so they're no longer the elite orbs and go back to the old orbs so they get more of the formula, and this is a prep for that to make that change. Because then you could target farm the stuff you need in here. But I just feel like this is too little, too late. This had almost no impact on me. Again, it's great for newer players who are going to be able to, earn that. But I think it's, and it was funny because
is that who this is for? Is this for newer players? This is not for us.
I don't know how many players are using it. I mean, I'd like to see in your comments when you're done with the video.
All right. Let me see. Now, the only thing I'm really needing is this catalyst. So event spacing catalyst, the focus catalyst, the damage catalyst. That's what I need, which is not in a store right now. So sometimes it's good. Sometimes I get nothing like it is now. So I'm glad they're doing this. It is late. better late than never, I guess, unless you've quit the game already. But I think this is a good win for players. Other thing that has happened this week is Red Death event for Omega Red. He is back now. Hopefully you have already unlocked this character because this is a very good character. But if you have not unlocked Omega Red at this point, is it worth going and gearing your Winter Soldier and your Nick Fury? We see him in the Age of Scourge right now. Omega Red being the best non-Scourge legendary character in the game. Is it still worth pushing for Winter Soldier, Nick Fury? I know the Secret Avenger is still the raid solution, so that's not even a question. But Nick Fury, Winter Soldier, still worth leveling him up and pushing for this event?
And I think that's the idea behind it, is now that you have all these new war teams showing up, you know, with Mr. Negative and you know, Zombie Iron Man, it definitely is some sort of reason to kind of farm these guys. And I think you probably still need him to a certain degree, because he still anchors a lot of good teams. Like, I mean, you know, think about the Scourge himself. He does carry a lot of the villain Scourges along with MILF. I was doing the evaluation the other night as far as the legendaries, like, you know, as far as, you know, I think because of it, and he's also relatively inexpensive when it comes to G16 to tier.
Good point.
The question is, now that we know that Magneto is a requirement and also a mutant legendary, does that take it away? And I'm kind of on the fence on that. I'd like to hear what people think about it, because I still don't think I have the answer to that. I think that Omega Red is probably still one of the top legendaries in the game, but when it comes for the quest for Apocalypse, is he standing in your way?
Now, I'm getting a lot of value from him, so I don't regret building him back in the day, putting this gear in him back in the day. If you just unlock them, though, that is an excellent question, because we have a lot of mutants, which need a lot of mutant gear for that Horseman team. We got the Unlimited X-Men and the Death Seed team, both Horseman teams that you're going to need to gear up if you want to get Apocalypse. If you're just unlocking him today, would you take him up to 15, or is he still providing enough value that you should gear 16 this character?
I would probably keep him at 15.
Okay.
And you know, and I would consider 16 only if I was completing Dark Dimension for the first time and I didn't have the uniques for Magneto.
Okay. Fair point.
You know,
very good character. If you want Apocalypse, there's other priorities right now.
And I think the biggest problem we have is, can you justify, with all the bio characters now required for the Scourges and for the whole team, can you justify bringing up, you know, somebody who's relatively useless, like, you know, our favorite
Winter Soldier?
Yeah, one-armed a character. You know, it's not even an option.
Yeah. All right. So still good. Maybe save your gear for some other characters, though, and definitely worth building up the other characters just to unlock him, but maybe save your gear for some other Horseman characters. All right, this is a weird data mine, because it's talking about a zombie after party coming. Zombie Iron Man returns from the dead, and I gotta be honest, when I'm reading through this data mine, it looks like the event that just ended here. A lot of it sounds the same, but the name of it, Zombie After Party, which would indicate after the main event, and Zombie Iron Man returns from the dead. Now, do you think this is an event that is coming soon to give players that did not unlock him a little more shards? I mean, they're talking about these orbs here, so obviously these evil undead genius orbs will be coming back at some point. They did say that it's going to be 24 hours, so you could open the orbs from this past event. But is this something that we should be excited about, or is this just an old event that appears to be something more than it is?
So data mines are exactly that. They could be a residual event from the previous idea of how they're going to release it. But I think this might be for next year. They basically, so a lot of times what they do is
next Halloween, because they're talking about trick or treat event. Those.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be horrible.
So a lot of times what they do is when the characters come out, like, you know, and they put the characters in the game, they put all the announcements in the game for when they go to orbs, etc. So they can just have the recurring event timed for next Halloween, or it could be, you know, and so they do put that in the game for this. So
copy and pasting events.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, and to their, and planning ahead, right? So they can talk about what have an idea of what they have. So again, the one thing about data mines is they're the most subject to change thing that's happening because they aren't official information. So I mean, trying to respond to data mines is always something I think is really tough.
All right, are you excited about this? Because I know when we talked yesterday, you were a little excited, and then I saw this. I'm like, it looks very similar to what just happened.
I wanted you to talk about it because it's there's been videos out there being made about it, and I just wanted to make sure people understand that I don't think there's any way to react to this. I wouldn't want people to pull their foot off the gas during the event for ZIM. Because we don't, I think this is potentially
it's over. It's over already.
Yeah, this potentially is next year.
Okay. I hope you're wrong. I hope this was due
to low.
I hope this was due to low sales of Zombie Iron Man and their weird release method, and they saw people quitting because of the dark promos not being communicated beforehand, and all these offers that they said there would only be one offer, and we're getting tons of offers almost every day for Zombie Iron Man. I hope this is a reaction to that and not like you said, but of course we have no way to know because the devs won't tell us all that stuff. All right. Yep. That is it. There was a lot of things that went on this week. Some negative. There was a lot of positives, though, but the bugs still remain in Marvel Strike Force. What is your overall thoughts on the game state as we've discussed a lot of the positives and negatives that happened this past week?
I guess my frustration is when the things that continue to happen and have a major impact on a game just continue to happen almost like clockwork, right? It's just basically like the red stars and events not starting on time. So it's definitely an issue where I wish they would go away, but it's become just the norm, right? So I guess the big learning from this is if you don't open your red star elite orbs during those things, you're a fool. Right?
All right, I'm doing it next time. Nakia is going to be in the game sometime, and soon as it's out there, I'm opening my elite 7s and 5s. Yeah, and hopefully I get it back. Hopefully I'm not shooting myself in the foot for some trashy character.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem, right? If we
don't know.
Imagine you're basically getting double the orbs.
All right, I'm gonna do it next time. I'm gonna find out when she's gonna. I'm gonna watch for those in-game messages and say, oh, Nakia's gonna be coming soon. I'm going to be paying attention to that, and might be popping some orbs and getting them back for free because Scopely does that kind of stuff. All right, any other final thoughts, my brother?
No, I just wanted to make sure everybody had a happy and healthy holidays coming season, and I'm finding new ways to have fun and learning from the community a lot more. Nice. And I think that's hopefully making my content reach a lot more people.
Nice. Well, thank you, my free-to-play brother, for joining me. If you guys want to see more Remanx content, the links to his channel, his Discord, his Twitch, all that stuff are going to be down below. And make sure you check him out because he does put out some really good content. If you guys haven't already subscribed to this channel, we do have more content coming in. Hopefully, we have more positive news to discuss about this Marvel Strike Force game. And of course, we got more Snap content coming as well. So thank you, guys. I will see you guys next time. Hopefully, you have a great day. Hopefully, you have a great holidays. And are you ready for that fist bump, Remanx, to take us out of here?
Yeah, we're ready for the Wakanda Forever. We'll do it together because this movie's coming out.
I can't hit the outro button and do that same thing. All right, I'll give you a half Wakanda. Half Wakanda Forever. Have a great one, guys. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.